Hello! Today we will learn amazing facts about Bitcoin, and we'll learn about the new technology it is built on. And we'll learn new vocabulary such as stocks, inflation, currency, wealth, decentralized, cryptocurrency, and blockchain. Welcome. One Bitcoin is now worth over $60,000 for one. Bitcoin is now one of the 5 biggest currencies in the whole world. All the Bitcoins together are worth over $1 trillion. Bitcoin is a currency like the dollar, like the euro. It is a currency, but it is not connected to any government or country. Bitcoin exists freely on the internet. Everywhere there is the internet, there can be Bitcoin. Just like $1 can be split into 100 cents, one Bitcoin can be split into 100 million Satoshis. So 0.1 Bitcoin equals 10 million Satoshis. Where is the Bitcoin company? Where is the Bitcoin HQ? Well, there isn't one. There is no central point. A small part of the Bitcoin network is across hundreds of thousands of different computers around the world. This technology is called a blockchain. Thousands of different computers connect together to make the whole network. Because of this, it has never been hacked or changed. It is very secure. To hack or change Bitcoin, you must take control of 51% of all the computers that make the Bitcoin blockchain. Imagine robbing a house in a village to get the treasure. You would have to rob 51% of all the houses in the village, which is very difficult. Well, it's impossible with today's technology. Bitcoin can be upgraded and improved if 51% of all the computers agree to the change. With Bitcoin, you do not need a bank or a government or any third party or middleman. With Bitcoin, you can send money directly to anybody in the whole world without the banks or the government taking a small fee. Because you do not need a bank to own Bitcoin, everybody in the whole world can own it. All you need is a smartphone or a laptop to send it to people, and if you want to keep it or receive Bitcoin, all you need is a Bitcoin address on a piece of paper. The address is a string of about 34 numbers and letters. When people want to send you Bitcoin, they type in your 34 digits and press send. Right now, there are 1.7 billion people who cannot open a bank account. 1.7 billion people who cannot keep their money safe in a bank, mostly in India and China and across Africa too. They can keep their wealth, their savings in the value of their house, or maybe they have gold or jewelry that they keep under the floorboards or in the walls. But Bitcoin gives them another option, another way they can keep their wealth. Also, using Bitcoin's technology, you now have tokenized cryptocurrency stocks. Tesla, Amazon, Facebook, and gold, silver, US dollars, and property, all in cryptocurrency form. So now these 1.7 billion people who don't have a bank, now they can invest in many other things because of the technology of Bitcoin. Now they have that option. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Now there are many cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin was the first and is the biggest cryptocurrency. The government currencies in many countries are not safe, are not reliable. For example, in the last 5 years, the people of Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Lebanon, Sudan, they have lost most of their wealth. They lost over 50% of all their wealth just by keeping their money in their bank account because of all the money printing, because of inflation. In Argentina, the local currency has lost most of its value over a 10-year period. It was 3 Argentinian pesos to $1, and it became 150 pesos to $1. So these people are losing so much of their wealth by just keeping the local currency in their bank account. They need other options to store, to keep their wealth. Who will protect them? A money manager? No. The government? Definitely not. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies give these people another safer way to keep their money so they don't lose it. And some governments want to stop people buying Bitcoin, such as India. They want to ban it and make it illegal so their citizens are not able to use Bitcoin. And so many people in India don't have a bank account. They are unbanked. New adjective, unbanked. But the truth is, even if Bitcoin got banned around the world, there are now thousands of other cryptocurrencies that use the same blockchain technology that could replace it. It's a whole new technology that, to be honest, cannot be stopped now. All the cryptocurrencies together are now worth about 2 trillion American dollars, which is nearly as much as all the silver in the whole world. And many important banks and companies have bought billions of dollars of Bitcoin, such as Tesla, Twitter, and many banks such as Goldman Sachs. There can only be 21 million Bitcoin ever. There is a limited supply. However, governments are always printing more money, printing more. This is called inflation. Inflation is when more money is printed, so the value of the money goes down. All government currencies always lose their value over time. For example, the US dollar, the American dollar, has lost 98% of its value since 1913. Do you remember 10 years ago, everything was a cheaper price? I remember the good old days when my student beer was £1. Whoa. Your food and house were a cheaper price 10 years ago, right? This is because of inflation. In America this year, according to Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy, in America this year, 24% more money has been printed. 24%. That is a lot to help with COVID-19. Over the next 5 years, it will be 10 to 15% more American dollars printed every year, which means the money in your bank account, if you use American dollars like me, the money in your bank account will be worth less next year, and the dollars in your bank account will be worth even less the year after. In Venezuela, the inflation reached 1,700,000% in 2018. What? So their local currency was completely worthless. And there are pictures on the internet of people using the money to make crafts and art because they can't use it to buy anything. In Zimbabwe, the inflation in 2018 was 175%. The use of Bitcoin has increased dramatically in these countries. Surprise, surprise. You see, governments can always print more money. President Biden is printing $1.9 trillion more right now in March 2021 to help Americans survive COVID-19. Money can be created. Also, more stocks and shares of companies can be created with a bit more difficulty. And it is difficult to create more gold. But still, we have gold mines and gold miners who find a little bit more gold every year. But Bitcoin, there is a limited amount. There will only ever be 21 million of them ever made, ever. So the maximum amount of Bitcoins ever is 21 million, and it cannot be changed because it is written in the Bitcoin code. Right now, in 2021, 18.5 million Bitcoins have been made. The last Bitcoin will be made in the year 2140. Every 4 years, the amount of new Bitcoins that gets created halves. So every 4 years, there are less and less and less new Bitcoins, but an increasing amount of people want them. Because Bitcoin is not connected and doesn't belong to any government or bank or person, and because there is a limited amount of them, 21 million, they are a little bit similar to gold. Some people call Bitcoin digital gold, but unlike gold, Bitcoin is much easier to carry, exchange, and receive and send than gold. You can take a Bitcoin anywhere. You just need to remember your password in your head, and you can use it anywhere in the world on the internet. Who created Bitcoin? Who owns it? Can't they change it? Actually, we don't know who created it. It is a new technology that was released into the universe. How mysterious and kind of perfect. The first Bitcoin payment happened on the 12th of January 2009. The person or group of people who made Bitcoin is called Satoshi Nakamoto. We have some messages from him from his posts on technology websites from just before Bitcoin was released. But soon after Satoshi sent the first Bitcoins to someone, he or she or they just disappeared forever. Some people think Satoshi is dead, but nobody knows for sure. This mysterious entity, Satoshi Nakamoto, does have a Bitcoin address with over 1 million Bitcoins on it, which is worth $30 billion today. $30 billion, but he has never touched them. All the Bitcoins are still in his address and have never been moved from when they were worth $0 to the $30 billion now. How do we know this? Bitcoin works on a blockchain. What this is a decentralized system with no central point, no HQ, just a small part of the blockchain on thousands of computers across the world. A blockchain works like a big book that everyone can see. And everything that happens on the blockchain, everything that happens, all sending and receiving, and every transaction, everything is written in the book and cannot be changed. And everyone can openly see what information is in the book. So we can see every transaction that has ever happened on the blockchain in this big metaphorical book called a ledger, and the ledger can be found on blockchain.com and on many other places on the internet. As new blocks get added to the blockchain around the world, it locks in the history of every transaction. A transaction is to send or receive a payment. Transaction. Before, criminals could use Bitcoin easily, but now many countries have made it illegal to own a Bitcoin address without connecting it to your real identity using your passport and ID. In the future, more Bitcoin addresses will be connected to real people. so criminals will not be able to use Bitcoin as easily. Leave us a comment and tell us, what do you think about Bitcoin? Will it make a positive impact on our world or a negative one? I'd like to hear your thoughts. We've already mentioned some benefits, but what are some disadvantages to Bitcoin? Well, just like many new technologies, the price is very volatile. When a price is volatile, it means the price goes up and up a lot, down a lot, very dramatically. And Bitcoin in the long term has always gone up since it was made in 2009 when it was worth $0. In the last 3 years, Bitcoin has been both $4,000 for one and $40,000 for one, 10 times more. But it will become less volatile as more people buy it in the future. Using Bitcoin is to be fully in control of your money and not have a bank to be in control of it. But a bank gives you more protection. If money is stolen from your bank account, usually a bank will give it back to you. Usually, if your Bitcoin is stolen, it's usually gone forever. But nowadays, there are an increasing amount of companies that provide protection and insurance for Bitcoin too. Some people lose or forget their Bitcoin addresses and passwords. Which means that their Bitcoin is lost forever. The lost Bitcoins are still on the blockchain, on the network, but they can no longer be accessed. Right now, about 20% of all Bitcoins are lost forever. Sometimes you hear stories of people going to trash dumps, to find old computers where they left their Bitcoin passwords. When Bitcoins get lost, the remaining Bitcoins then become worth more because more people then want fewer Bitcoins. Looking into the future, Bitcoin is becoming increasingly popular because of the uncertainty in government currencies and the threat of high inflation around the world, partly because of COVID-19. People are looking for new and better ways to keep and not lose their wealth. Also, worldwide, people are becoming more distrustful of their governments. In this age of free information, more distrustful than, say, 50 years ago. So they want a kind of money that is not connected to them. And they just want another option, that is not buying gold or silver, stocks or owning property. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. There are now many other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. All these cryptocurrencies are built on thousands of different kinds of blockchains that do different things. Bitcoin was the first blockchain, but now many companies use this peer-to-peer, like this direct person-to-person decentralized technology for all kinds of uses. Nowadays, you can do everything you can do with a traditional bank, but on a blockchain. But more. You can lend, borrow, earn interest, and trade value over the internet without a bank. You can pay people on the other side of the world with no fees, and they'll receive money in 2 minutes. A bank can't do that. There are new cryptocurrency versions of stocks, gold, oil, property. You can sell your house on the blockchain if you want nowadays. Attach it to 1, 100, or 1,000 coins, whatever you like, and sell them. Or sell your car or sell art on the blockchain. It's now easier than ever to make your own coins and decentralized apps. There are also cryptocurrency versions of the US dollar, the euro, the pound, etc. We are entering a new age where people can freely send and receive value over the internet directly. with no middleman or bank or government interfering if they like. Until recently, we could only send and receive information over the internet. But now we can also send value as easily as typing in an email address. There has become a whole new decentralized peer-to-peer financial world online, with millions of users across thousands of different blockchains. And Bitcoin is like the US dollar of that world. It is the strongest, the largest, and by far the most trusted of all the cryptocurrencies, and most secure because its blockchain is the biggest across the most amount of computers. The world we live in 20 years will be insanely different to what it is now. Try to imagine someone explaining what a Wi-Fi password in a hotel is to someone 20 years ago. They would be absolutely amazed and probably not believe you. You'd say, hey, you type it in and you can go on your smartphone to check, the likes on your social media. They wouldn't know what you're talking about. And technological progress is changing even faster than ever. It's impossible to predict the future, but there's a big chance blockchain technology will be a part of that future because it's now too big to stop. Please share this with anyone who might benefit. Listen to the podcast version after to solidify, to maximize your learning on Spotify, Apple, Castbox, etc. Most importantly, have an absolutely amazing day. Please subscribe, click on the bell. What else? Now, thank you so much for watching and see you guys on the flip side.